and welcome to the Lakeshow podcast brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Play responsibly. You must be 18 years or older. Good times. Chris McGee alongside with Mike Bresnahan, Dan Woike. Dan, welcome. You just reminded us that you have a grievance
Chris.
to air.
Great to be here.
Great to be here.
So
because of the
happy.
last podcast we had, or was it 2 podcasts ago?
I believe it was the last podcast you guys had, in which I caught some deserved flack from your other co-host, Allie Clifton, who's not here today.
You said her jacket looked like your
dog. Like the jacket
Miss
was
B.
Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Looked like a golden doodle.
Oh, okay.
That's it. And I was maybe a little obnoxious about it.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And that got back to us.
Yeah.
It did. And
we had
to
a defender, Dan.
to which you guys responded by, let me see if I have these in order.
Yeah.
Peter, you said that I wasn't in the press conferences asking 60-plus second long questions, something like that.
Okay, go on.
Brez, for some reason, talked about me being poorly dressed, which, like...
Well, I think we
really
brought up, if
cuts.
you're going to go after Allie's attire.
Right.
That's really...
It's not a road you want to go
No,
down.
both of you...
Like
you
if
guys,
BT wants to go after Allie's attire,
what you
I'm listening.
What you did was you said, here are all the good-dressed people on the Lakers beat. And then you proceeded to list everyone.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Except for me.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Is
I
what
said
happened.
beat writers historically are not going
That's
to
what
win
it
any
was.
fashion awards.
Yeah.
But Brent Turner's well dressed.
He
Kobe
is.
Price is well dressed. Oh, Dave McMenamin's got great suits.
Yeah, I
you
guess
went through
we did
everybody,
say that.
and then I believe the word slob was used.
I'm not
at some
backing
point.
down off
Who
it. I
said
loved
that?
Was it like I dress like a slob? Did anybody say that?
No, but
That's
I'm
what
all
I heard
for
it
it.
in your tone.
Yeah.
I wear
I think so.
very nice sweaters.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, well let me walk that back.
Yeah.
I wear very affordable sweaters
Yeah.
that are found at some of America's greatest outlet stores.
You know, I have a beef with you.
Wow.
The last time I was down there,
Hey, outlet shop too.
tough
I'm
Laker
with you.
loss
What did I
to the Spurs, and I'm in there,
yeah.
and Dan doesn't want to really ask any questions.
This is
So
what
I'm
you're
sitting there and I'm firing away,
did
and
he
I got
have
all the beat
laryngitis?
writers are basically like, "Man, we're on All-Star break. Like we're
That's true.
we're
I
done."
was.
And I took offense to that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
It
why
was
you
the
were
getaway
upset.
game.
No, that's why you were upset with me. And all I'm gonna say is that look, I think
You were 52 games in.
yeah,
tired.
and nobody had played. I wasn't gonna work up a bunch of like
Yeah, I know.
Nick Smith energy. No
So are we
offense to
through
Nick
this? We can
Smith.
get the show going. Are you good? You had your shot.
I'm waiting for an apology.
I
that
mean, I thought it was great. I mean,
but
listen,
I suppose
if
you're
it hurt your
forgiven.
feelings, I guess we apologize.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was great.
once you go after our coworker Allie,
Yeah,
it's hard
come on, man.
to
It
you know.
wasn't. I wasn't going after anybody. Again, she wore a jacket that looked like there
Yeah.
was a golden doodle somewhere in Los Angeles.
I'm going to
with
put this
no
on the
fur.
table. We love you,
Thank you.
but we had to go to bat,
Yeah,
Fair enough.
and
yeah.
it was fun.
I
I'm
texted you
glad you
guys.
had your response.
I earned it from Allie.
You did. You did.
I was surprised.
Brez and I piling on.
Surprised by
bit,
that.
a little bit.
Surprised.
I don't think we get flagged for it for piling on, but
No.
there was a little bit of maybe
Hey,
a late
second
hit.
person
Yeah.
always is the one who gets caught.
Couple late
It's never
hits.
the first.
Couple late hits. Well, Dan, you're here. We do love you.
Thank you.
And you, by the way,
Great
you
to
look
be
great.
They look
So,
wonderful.
Obviously,
I like your shoes too.
Obviously, we did our
Yeah,
job
yeah.
because his
Good job,
game
Dan.
has gotten
Wore
tighter.
a nice sweater.
Send Guido me your receipts. So
All
we'll,
right. So during an interview with the CNBC team owner Jeanie Buss responded to if LeBron's return next season. She responded with, that really didn't make much sense. Never say never, but he certainly hasn't given an indication. He's earned the right to decide how his career will go, and he continues to impress.
Mm-hmm.
So if LeBron returned, his salary would be a big factor determining what kind of team LA could build. How do you fit him in? I'll let Dan go first. The
Well,
guest.
Keith, I'd like to start first of all by saying you look very well dressed today.
Thank you.
As always, and I'm glad you're here.
Brez, you go first.
Yeah, okay, I'll go first. Dan, I just want to say that, Dan, you can go first if you
Unbelievable.
wanted to.
Unbelievable.
Go.
Bottom line, look, LeBron's making 53, 54 million, right in that range.
Yep.
I think everyone realizes he's going to have to take some sort of a pay cut. I'm not talking down to, like $5 million, but the Lakers can go on a spending spree this summer. Obviously, a lot of that money is going to be earmarked for making Austin Reaves a very rich man. But, I think there's a clear path for LeBron to come back, but it's not going to be at 53 million. I think everyone pretty much realizes that, probably even LeBron, too. And not a lot of teams have cap space, Dan. It's the teams where he wouldn't want to go. The smaller markets that aren't very good. So I don't see him going to,
So how do you fit him if you want him?
Have you guys
Yeah.
have you guys felt when you've talked to people about the Lakers next season that like has it been a never say never kind of vibe, or has it been like when we get LeBron back next year we're going to do this? Because I think it's been more never say never which, by the way, is not the strongest endorsement. I would suggest you guys go to your partners and say, hey, do you think we're going to be together next year? And if they say never, you're going to feel a certain way about that answer. I think in terms of LeBron and in terms of, thanks for
fix your mic
up here. It's a podcast. I should be able to hold it here.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
That I think like there is probably a number that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The question is like how palatable is that number to a player, one, who's making 50 plus this year, and two, who's performing at a level certainly that will be higher than whatever number he's going to make from the Lakers next year.
He will be a bargain next year if he's
on the
retire.
Lakers. Yeah, he's going to have to be a bargain.
Yeah.
What about somewhere else? Is someone else going to pay that max?
Yeah,
per
I
year?
mean,
I don't think so.
I think the good teams are all capped out.
They're all capped out.
And it's going to be like a veterans minimum mid-level of about $6 million. If he wants to join, like, say, the Knicks or even Cleveland, those teams have a lot of high salaries, and they're good. You know, they're not.
And you can do sign and trades. There are different things that can happen in that way to do it. But if you're, let's say, the Knicks, all right, and you think that one season of LeBron James, because like we're talking now about a player who's going to turn 42, like you can't really be planning that far out in the future. And
let's be honest, there are only a very few teams that he would even consider. I think Cleveland makes sense because of where it started. New York because it's New York.
Yeah,
Golden State because it's Steph. And Lakers.
Yeah, 5. Did you just name 5 teams? That sounds about right.
4 teams.
4 teams.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, like there was a time when Dallas's name was like bandied about because of Kyrie Irving. I don't think that he wants to go play with Kyrie and Cooper Flagg and end his career there. But I don't know. And I do believe him when he says he doesn't know. Like that is a thing that I believe.
My next question.
But like the pathway of the Lakers, it's got to make sense, and it also has to make sense for the Lakers to to decide that this is a player that we still want to be an important piece because he's too good to not be an important piece. Like that is the tricky space that he's in, is that he's too good to be marginalized, and is he good enough to be your focal point? Well, not on a Lakers team that has Luka Doncic.
That to me is the key. He is still playing too well to I'll go take the bare minimum and play a role.
Yeah.
He's still too good for that. So that I think is where the discussion starts.
Yeah, it's
what situation fits him best.
The good news for LeBron, he doesn't have to make this decision financially. He's made plenty of money on and off the court. So it's going to be a fit thing. It's going to be a happiness thing. Does he want to stay here in LA, with his son and his son's under contract for 2 more years, 1 more guaranteed with the Lakers after this season?
I think it's partial.
Partial. There you go. And does his daughter still making her way up through the ranks of the junior highs, soon to be high schools eventually? Does he want to stay in LA, or does he want to maybe go out to New York and experience that? Maybe a 3rd tour with Cleveland. It's not going to be a money decision for him.
Can I ask you this, Brett?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to cut you off, but you guys are all leading me to the next thing. At the All-Star game, he said this. Everyone will know when he knows everyone else will know.
Yeah.
He's just trying to live his life.
I give him credit for that,
too.
So
do you think there is a plan, and can that plan change? Or do you believe, and I think Dan already kind of answered this, that he doesn't know until he gets there, right? Like, how's he going to feel mentally? Because I think that's a big part of this. Because physically right now he feels pretty good. But he doesn't want to go through what he went through last offseason.
It was really interesting what he said during All-Star Weekend, or maybe right before it, to you guys, Dan, you well-dressed beat reporters.
Yep.
When he said,
most of them are well-dressed.
when he said, it's I want to play. It's just what's the body and the mind telling me. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I don't think he knows. I think he has no clue. Kobe didn't know going into his last season. He was under contract for that last year, but year 20, he went in, no announcement or anything, and then a few weeks into it, he said, "Okay, I'm done."
See, I agree. You can have a plan. It doesn't mean it always goes with that plan.
Sure. And I mean, I think, and there's been like peaks and valleys to this year, right?
Yeah.
I think if you had talked to him after, 6 games back from the sciatica, and I did talk to him about stuff like that. I think his enthusiasm for seeing how far he could push himself physically was probably pretty low. That it was difficult, right? Like he had never played an NBA season without a preseason before. This news cycle kind of came and went. But remember how angry he looked on the sideline in the first game? Turns out it wasn't because he hated Luka. It was because he
was pissed that he wasn't playing.
Yeah, he was mad he wasn't playing and he wasn't out there. And I think that part has been That part's been difficult, I think, for him. But then, we started to see like the pop kind of come back a little bit. And it's funny, like it just changes kind of night to night. Like, after they lost to Oklahoma City, competitive coals were burning pretty hot for LeBron. Him and I had like a little bit of an interaction and stuff like that. And like that night, if you'd asked me, like that seemed like a guy who was over it. Right. He was over of like what it took to put in to not get out winning. He's done with it. 2 games later, he has a triple double against the Mavericks. He's flying around like the legs are loose. The pop is there, and he's a guy that looks like he could play till he's 45.
He's going to let us know when he knows. That's what I've been
100%.
saying, and that's what he said all-star
We
weekend.
can talk about for 4 days in a row, and we just don't know.
So here's something from Dave McMenamin. He reported there's an alignment between Luka Doncic and the front office on the plan to improve the roster. A source familiar with Doncic's thinking told ESPN that LA's deadline approach with adherence to discipline, I put quotes on that, and focus on the long-term picture was supported by Luka. He has not pushed the team to add a superstar-level co-star for when LeBron James is no longer on the roster. Brez, that's a very big piece to this because going into a very important summer, and Dan, you're going to weigh in also, you do want harmony.
Sure.
You do want some stability.
Is it a 3D wing? Harmony? Can they get him? All right.
But that's what he wants. I'm sure that's what he wants. That's what we all want. But I'm saying you need to be on the same page.
And this all started last August. I mean, Luka obviously signing that extension. Okay, so he's making a nice commitment saying, yeah, this is where I want to be. And it made sense financially. He didn't do the full max deal. He took a year off that. But he made his commitment almost a year ago, 8-9 months ago. So now he's basically telling the Lakers kindly, gently, hey, no problem with the deadline. And let's see what we can do this offseason. It's not a banner year for free agents. That's the only thing. Obviously, Giannis has some contract time left, but I think we all know he's going to be shopped for sure. It's just not a big, hey, we'll get that guy for $40 million and that guy for $30 million, and we're set. There's just not that great lot of free agents just hanging out around there this summer, Dan.
Well, if we go to the quote, right, it's that Luka hasn't pushed specifically for a star, right? And I think like this, it can be complicated and team building can be complicated. I think in this sense, it's actually pretty easy. And I think we can go back and look at the 2 teams that Luka Doncic has had the most success with in Dallas. And you can say, who are the players that can fill this role? Who are the players that can fill that role, right? The second superstar fundamentally on both those teams was another guard, right? It was a secondary ball handler. It was Jalen Brunson the first time, Kyrie Irving the second time. The Lakers have that guy. Like they have the guy who can do that in Austin Reaves, right? What they need is the rim running, shot blocking center, the multi-positional wings, the shooting, the different like the athleticism. Like where's the Derek Jones Jr., where's the PJ Washington? Those are the kinds of players that they need to find, right? And I do think that, on one hand, the Lakers kind of being cautious at the deadline, right? The priorities at the deadline were maintain future flexibility by not taking on more money, right? And try to get better if we can. But in that order, right? Like they sacrificed getting better at the deadline. They could have gotten better players had they been more willing to take on years and different things like that.
Got to give up that pick, which I think becomes 3, which they weren't
smart.
They weren't.
They wanted cap space.
They had to be smart.
They wanted cap space and they wanted flexibility. Well, they had to be smart if they didn't believe they could get over the hump this year with what they have, and that the best pathway still for them this year is like, let's just hope that our LeBron, Luka, Austin group can be healthy enough and good enough in a playoff series. Yeah.
All right, so Lakers, you guys laid me on the next thing. Lakers preparing for the second half, only 28 games left. The big 3, Luka, LeBron, and Austin. They've played 10 games together. A handful of those really have been half games or minute restriction games.
Yeah.
They've only tallied 152 minutes, so time's kind of running out. 28 games left. Can they figure out the optimal way to use the big 3?
That's crazy. 152 minutes.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's unbelievable. And the answer is yes. They have their schedule is going to be pretty compact in March. Dan, I know you're looking forward to
Can't wait.
some really fun
almost
travel
as exciting
setups.
as being here to talk to you guys about how poorly dressed I am. It's gonna be a busy month.
It is. But the Lakers actually are one of the few teams with a lot more home games than road games.
12 road games left.
Yeah, and 16 home. So that's a nice little thing. The teams ahead of them are kind of beat up. What's going on with Denver and Aaron Gordon. OKC, what's happening with them? I don't think the Lakers are going to catch them, being down 8 games with 28 left. But still, there's a pathway for me that I can see for the Lakers to finish top 4 in the West. They're 5th right now, so it's not that much to ask, and it involves the big 3 getting healthy and staying healthy. It seems like they are right now. And DeAndre Ayton, hopefully his knee, whatever situation that was, has flatlined in a good way. And everyone will be pretty much healthy, you know? If you can't flatline it.
The rare good flatlining, typically.
As soon as I said it, I knew I was in trouble.
So, good news is that I think the minutes that the big 3 are going to be on the court together over the course of a game should, in theory, be pretty limited.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the actual, like, real fun part of having 3 players is you can stagger them.
Yeah.
And I do think that we've seen how, like, they've worked in pairs. Right, like the way that the injuries have sort of like we got a good chunk of Luka and Austin together. We got a really good chunk of LeBron and Austin too. While Luka was dealing with some injuries, went back to Slovenia for the birth of his child, and then now we've gotten like sort of been forced into like this Luka LeBron thing too, where they've gotten a little bit of a rhythm. So I think that's not a horrible thing. Even better about the 12 games, road games too. 2 of those games are against the Golden State Warriors in state trips, small trips. Phoenix is a short trip. Denver's not a very long trip. Like they have one really brutal road trip left. They have a 6-game road trip where they go to Houston, Miami, Orlando, Indiana, Detroit.
They play Houston twice, right? On that one?
Baseball series in Houston.
Yeah.
So that's a tough trip, and those Houston games could be really important when it comes to standings and different things like that. I do think, obviously, like health is wealth. That's the most important thing. You mentioned Ayton. To me, like he is the guy that raises the ceiling. He probably drops the floor too.
Did you see the Bleacher Report clickbait most overrated players list?
No. Is he on it?
He's on it, but so is like Anthony Davis, Draymond Green. There's guys on it that just shouldn't be on it, and then there's guys,
champions,
you know, D'Angelo Russell, Kyle Kuzma. But Ayton was on there. And I just thought that was interesting. It was actually been our next topic. But we don't have a lot of time, so jump in.
I think the Ayton thing, like
it's
for
an
me,
interesting topic because
like the first month of the season, like Ayton was terrific. And I do think that part of that was the Lakers knowing, particularly Austin Reaves, getting the ball to DeAndre Ayton in the spots where he likes it. And then that would allow then other play, like Luka to get Ayton where he needs the ball and different things like that. So, look, he makes them better. For them to be a really good defense.
Yeah, he's had some great moments.
He's had good moments. He's had low lows, though, too. And I think
it's fair to say that, right? Some inconsistencies.
Yeah, but that's more than fair, right? And I think that is the to me, if they can level him out a little bit in terms of the peaks and valleys, this team was really, I mean, whatever, Minnesota fans will get mad at this. This team was close in that series last year.
Every game.
Every
had
game.
Leads in the fourth.
Could not score the ball in the fourth quarter, had defensive needs at the rim. In theory, they should be better at those things right now. Not that big of a need to get into the second round. I do think the ceiling is higher with this team.
All right, guys, we do got to take a break. Sorry, Brez. We've got more Laker topics coming up when we return.
Hoops fans, Morongo Casino Resort and Spa is a great place to catch all the action.
They've got great bars with incredible beers and cocktails.
Fantastic food, too, from snacks to seafood to steaks.
And big screens everywhere showing all the big games.
Endless slots and table games. I never want to leave.
Don't forget the great deals at Desert Hills Premium Outlets. Can't wait to show you what I got.
That's why I love Morongo.
A slam dunk of good times every time.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa is a California licensed gambling facility. You must be 18 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to Lakeshow Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app or the App Store or Google Play. It's time for a round of Bucket or Brick, presented by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Good times.
Play responsibly. You must be 18 years or older. All right, the league is coming off their new all-star format. Brez introducing a 3-team round robin. Bucket or Brick, like the in-season tournament, the current new all-star format will continue to gain popularity. Bucket or Brick?
I'm going to bucket it. You know, and of course, we know the U.S. has had some pretty good players over the last 75 years, 80 years, however old the NBA is. And the world is starting to, you know, they've produced some pretty good ones. As long as they keep producing, which why would they not? It's going to be a format that you can stick with. I liked it. You even had some little snipping from Kevin Durant and Luka kind of weighing in and saying, hey, leave the world all-stars alone. So it's I'm enjoying it. It's something needed to be done. Is this the final fix? I don't know, but I like it. I liked it.
First time I've gotten text messages about the All-Star game in a long time. Bucket or brick?
It was great. I was there. I lean more bucket than brick. Brick in the sense that it's going to be a problem in 5 years, because it does always sort of feel like after 5 years, like these things have a pretty short like shelf life. I also like, though, the other part of it was like the olds versus the youngs, which was kind of a fun, like it was just kind of a fun thing too. Only problem I had with it all was that it just was like for the finals, like there wasn't maybe enough of a recovery time or something like that. That game kind of was the worst. But look, as far as All-Star weekends go, any of the ill will we felt on Saturday about a pretty unspectacular Saturday, totally erased by one of the, I mean, probably the best Sunday since 2020 in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably the best. Really competitive basketball.
Adam Silver addressed the problem of tanking prior to the All-Star game, stating that he is prepared to use further penalties than just fines, such as the forfeiting of draft picks and seeking alternative ideas to the existing lottery and draft process. Because, listen, let's be honest, fining doesn't really mean much to most people, right, especially in that business.
Yep.
Bucket or brick? If teams keep tanking, the NBA should eliminate the draft lottery. Man, I have opinions on this, but go ahead.
I don't think so. I mean,
Brick?
Yeah, brick it. I don't.
They created it, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to David Stern, turning the little ping pong holder and holding, grabbing the Knicks, and everyone gets excited.
Finding the coldest envelope. Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's been decades, 50 years of this, and I just don't know how you give that up. The problem for Silver is this. Say you run the Utah Jazz, and you're sitting Markkanen because his knee doesn't feel well. Well, how do you police that if you're Silver? Do you have an independent knee expert go in there and say, no, he's fine, let's put him back out there?
That's interesting.
I don't know how you can police teams, because all the teams claim medical issues.
Yeah.
I do like what he did several years ago, Silver, making the bottom three, or maybe it's 4, Dan, the worst 4 teams all have the same percentage. So it eliminated some of the race for the real bottom. But, the last few years, those teams haven't been winning. San Antonio jumped up. Dallas jumped up.
The only chance to change your franchise is getting a top pick or getting that guy. Sometimes it's not the first pick, sometimes it's the third. But that's just the truth of it. Look at Wemby falling to the Spurs, even though they had good odds, but Dallas didn't have great odds. So you never do know. But Dan, bucket or brick for you?
I will brick it, and I think as currently constructed, I want to see changes to it. I don't want to see a free agency thing. I don't want to see a system in which one non draft idea, right, that's been proposed is that there is no draft. Teams have a spending pool that they can use, right, and that pool may be tied to whatever you use, like last year or different years and different things like that.
I see a lot of issues with that.
Of course.
Look at NIL.
They all have unintended. They all have unintended consequences, right? Like, I mean, we're dealing with a cap circumvention scandal currently around the NBA. If the Lakers were to say, "Hey, Cooper Flag, we can't offer you the same amount of money as what?" But guess what? You'll be a Laker and you can make X, Y, and Z off the court. Like, I think I do think there are more appealing sort of like quote unquote gimmicks for this. One idea I like, and it does have unintended consequences, is like, when teams are eliminated after the All-Star break, or wins after the All-Star break for eliminated teams count towards your odds. Or something like that, right? Where you can
incentivize.
You incentivize winning. Now the counter would be that, if you don't tie it to the All-Star break, you'll just see teams starting to tank earlier.
In December.
Here's what matters most to me, and I asked Adam Silver that question about tanking at the start of his press conference. What matters to me most is that for fans, for reporters, whatever, when we go to the arena at night, I should have the utmost confidence that both teams are trying to win that game. Now, front offices can tank. They can put bad rosters out there, like we've all seen Major League. It can happen. I mean, we're all old men. Of course we've seen Major League. But, like, the players can't tank. The coaches cannot tank. Yeah. That's where integrity of the game comes into play. That's the real issue. And
not playing your best players in the fourth quarter.
Exactly. Because maybe they have quote-unquote minute restrictions and things like that. That, to me, is the line.
So we're under 40 seconds. Luka playing Friday, we assume?
Yeah.
Played 5 minutes in the All-Star game. You guys okay with that, right?
Yeah, I liked
Yeah,
his
it was great.
pregame workout last
Good to
week.
see.
Yeah, he looked good in the pregame workout for the Lakers' last game before the All-Star break. So what's pregame workout? Nothing, but he looked good.
But it's important to him to play a little bit.
He's a leading vote getter.
Leading vote getter.
In the city that he now calls home, I think it was good for him to be out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good for him to be out there.
I think so.
And you're
that's
okay with him taking the Dallas game off, right? Because it's different playing 38 minutes.
I mean, taking it off versus not being able to play, I think, are two different things.
Yeah, me too. All right, that does it for the edition of Lakeshow Podcast presented by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. We will see you next time.
forgive you
Hopefully
guys.
Dan is not angry
forgive
with
you guys.
everyone because he hates us.